Hey there, and welcome. Today, we're going to unlock one of the most powerful tools in the English language, conditional sentences. Seriously, they're how we talk about everything from simple facts to our absolute wildest dreams. And it all comes down to one tiny little word.
So, think about this for a second. How can just one word be the key that opens up entire worlds? The world of solid facts, the world of future possibilities, and even the worlds of imagination and past regrets.
And that word is if. Yep, that's it. To really get a grip on its power, we're going to go on a little journey together, climbing what I like to call the reality ladder, starting right here on the ground floor, with things that are just plain true. Okay, so here we are, stepping onto the ground floor, the world of certainty. This is the home of the zero conditional, and it only deals with things that are 100% true. Think of it like rules, habits, and scientific facts. No guesswork allowed down here. The idea here is super simple. If one thing happens, another thing always happens as a result. It's a straight-up cause and effect relationship that's always true, an automatic, guaranteed result every single time.
And you know what? The grammar is just as straightforward. It's just if plus a verb in the present simple, followed by, you guessed it, another verb in the present simple. Simple cause, simple result. Easy.
For instance, check this out. If you heat ice, it melts. This isn't a maybe or a possibility. It's a law of physics, right? That's the zero conditional in its purest form. It happens every single time. Now, here's a little trap people fall into all the time, using the word will. But remember, we're on the ground floor of certainty. Will talks about the future, about probability. But here, we only deal in facts. So it's if it rains, it gets wet, not it will get wet. All right, let's head up the ladder to the first floor. We're leaving that world of 100% certainty behind and stepping into the world of possibility. This is where we can actually start talking about the future. The first conditional is your go-to tool for talking about plans, predictions, and outcomes that are pretty likely to happen. It's not a guaranteed fact like before, but it's describing a future that is totally realistic and probable. So, did you spot the change in the formula? We still use the present simple after if, but look at the result part. Now we use will. That little word will is our signal that we've climbed up from solid fact into a likely future. Take this example. If it's sunny tomorrow, we will go to the beach. Now, is it 100% certain it's going to be sunny? Nope. But if that condition happens, then the result, us going to the beach, is our very real plan. Okay, and this is super important. You never use will in the if part of the sentence. The future possibility is in the result, not the condition. So it's always if it rains, never if it will rain. Got it? Good.
All right, time for a bigger jump. Let's head up to the second floor, into the world of imagination. This is where we start to really leave reality behind and ask that famous, wonderful question, what if?
The second conditional is all about those hypothetical situations. We use it for things that are not true right now, and honestly, they might never be. This is the grammar of dreaming, of wishing, and just exploring all those what-if scenarios.
Now look closely at this formula, because it's a little clever. We use the past simple, like if I won, but we're not actually talking about the past. It's a cool grammatical trick. Using the past tense here is a signal that we're taking a step away from reality. And will becomes would to keep that imaginary feeling going.
I mean, think about it. What would you do if you won the lottery? Right now, you haven't won it. It's a completely imaginary situation, right? And that's exactly what the second conditional is for, exploring that fantasy.
And hey, want to sound like a real pro? Here's a little tip. When you're giving advice, it sounds much more correct to use were for everyone. I, he, she, everybody. Saying if I were you instead of if I was you is just one of those little things that shows you've really mastered this level.
We've made it to the very top of our ladder. Welcome to the attic, the world of hindsight. Up here, we look back at a past that's already done and dusted, and we imagine how things could have turned out differently.
You know that feeling of if only? Well, this is the grammar for that. It's the conditional of regret and reflection. The door to the past is closed. We can't change what happened. But with the third conditional, we can explore all those other paths we could have taken.
Now, I know this formula looks like a bit of a monster, but trust me, it's perfectly logical. The if part uses the past perfect, like if I had studied, which locks the condition into the finished past. And the result part uses would have plus the past participle, like would have passed, to talk about the imaginary result of that condition.
Think about this one. If I had studied harder, I would have passed the exam. So what's the reality here? I didn't study harder, and so I didn't pass. This sentence just perfectly captures that feeling of regret by creating a completely imaginary alternate past.
And there you have it. We have climbed the entire reality ladder, from the solid ground of facts all the way up to the attic of hindsight. So let's put it all together and take one last look at our complete conditional toolkit.
So this table pretty much sums up our whole journey. We started with 0 for 100% facts. Then we climbed to first for real future possibilities. Then we jumped up to second for our unreal dreams and what-ifs. And finally, we ended up in the third, looking back at unreal pasts. Each step on that ladder takes us just a little bit further away from concrete reality.
And that brings us to one last thought, just for you. Using that powerful third conditional we just mastered, I'm going to leave you with this question. If you could have given your younger self one piece of advice, what would it have been?